Thanks for watching Ask Nancy with Nancy.Yang, Remax Results Realtor in the
Hey guys. Thank you.
Okay, and then in today's video, we're going to talk about repairing your credit score. I think that's a lot of questions the buyers get if they're thinking, you know, my credit score is bad, or I had a lapse in my employment for X amount of years, or I had this debt that I forgot to pay and all that stuff, and really hinders the process of getting their buying their houses, okay? And Nancy's gonna answer all of those things. But really quick, thanks for watching. Remember, if you see this, tell a friend about Nancy, her Facebook page. We do live every Wednesdays. Tell a friend, you know, there's this one girl that does live with real estate. It's kind of cool. It's on Wednesdays. Tell a friend, we love it. Like, share, follow us. Appreciate it very much. And then, because again, Nancy's so stellar, we're gonna read their 5-star Zillow review of the day. And today's review is from Tall, let's see, I'm gonna say, yeah, Tall Q47. Let's do it, okay? This person said, Nancy is awesome at what she does. As our agent, she never rushed us into buying a home, and I love that because this was your biggest financial purchase ever. She is very knowledgeable. She explains things step by step, and we were in the process, and we just loved the entire process all the way till we closed the home. So, oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah, that's actually from Ya and Dali. So they're such a cute couple with their little guy. They're right over in St. Paul now, and she also even referred her brother.
Okay.
And then got married afterwards. It was awesome. Love, love, love working with great people, guys. So yes, we're talking today about a really important topic, credit score, right? Yeah. And yeah, absolutely. So right now, especially as you know, we have coronavirus.
Yes.
And people are scared about, is it a really good time to buy a house? What's going to happen? That kind of a thing. Well, I will tell you that banks in general are now really looking closely at the people they're borrowing money to, right? So, long story short, we were all kind of young and dumb once, right?
Oh,
and I will tell you...
Still young and dumb. Or not that young, but very dumb.
Not that young anymore. Yeah. But I'll tell you that I actually use myself as a perfect example. So when I was younger, I had royally kind of messed up my credit, not really realizing that these things could come back and haunt me later on in life, right? So essentially, I actually use myself as a guinea pig to help teach other people about how to get their credit to where it needs to be, right?
Empathetic. Nice. Okay. Yeah.
Well, so what's going to happen, guys, is I always tell people, like, people are like, hey, I'm thinking about a house, I'm loving, you know, all these photos.
Hey, we're back.
We're back. Sorry about that.
Hi, Moa. I see you. Thanks for watching. How's it okay? Credit score.
Yep. So anyway, so basically what happens is that, you know, when we're looking at credit score, like essentially a couple big things, right? Mm-hmm. First of all, it sounds really cliche because I read like financial gurus, they say this all the time: pay all your bills on time. And I always tell people, okay, let's say our due date is the 5th of the month, right? Mm-hmm. You could pay a day late, you could pay 19 days late, 27 days late. On pain of death, do not pay 30 days late because it will drop your score 60 to 80 points, all right?
Oh my gosh!
Yes.
60 to 80 points?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. I actually had a client one time, we were in the middle of a purchase. He happened to actually be late, I think it was a car payment, was just late a few days, past the 30 days. He literally dropped his score like 60 to 80 points, but we were just barely able to close by the skin of our teeth. Like, I think his score was like 624.
So the lender can still say no house right before closing?
Oh, absolutely. Ooh. Yep. And that's the other thing too, is like, as we're looking for a great house, you know, be careful on shopping for a whole bunch of new furniture for your new place, because if you're all of a sudden applying for a bunch of credit, it's going to be a red flag to the lender as well, right?
On layaway, that furniture. Okay.
But back to kind of some key things that I can recommend for you to get your credit score up, right?
Oh yeah.
And in general, even life is just cheaper when you have a higher credit score. Like, you know, your insurance is cheaper.
Yes.
You know, car insurance is cheaper. Shopping for house insurance is a lot cheaper. Your premium is just plain lower. A lot easier, and in fact, a lot of jobs nowadays may even check your credit score before giving you a job. So, I don't know if you've heard that before, but yeah, I've been hearing that. So essentially, a couple things, guys. You know, pay everything on time.
Okay.
If you have credit cards, it is okay, totally okay to have credit cards, but what I would recommend is this. Let's say you have a $1,000 credit line. You want to keep no more than 20 to 30% of the credit balance, like actually on your card.
Okay.
So when I was younger, I thought, hey, I have $1,000 credit cards. I have $1,000 to burn, right? And
No.
the credit, like what I kind of like to call the credit mafia, the credit bureaus, you know, they keep track of us, obviously, right? So we're out living life. But they're watching carefully how we use our money. So if you're utilizing 51% or more of your credit line, they're telling you that, you know, they're thinking, gee, this person's using a high amount of credit. They may need credit in order to live on a day-to-day basis, and therefore your credit score goes down.
Oh, my Smurf, that's brilliant. Okay, got it.
So I've actually tested that on myself. You know, like sometimes, you know, my expenses might catch up on me a little bit, so my credit line will go a little bit over like 50%. I'll see my score all of a sudden dip maybe 20 to 40 points.
Oh, yes.
And then as soon as I can pay it down again to maybe, you know, 20 to 30% of my credit line, my credit score will jump right back up again.
Wow, so credit scores, it does reflect pretty soon if you do make improvements. It's not like you have to wait a year for your credit score to improve after you've done what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So again, so if you have like you know, a bunch of credit cards but only a balance, like a big balance on one card, it's better to spread that balance amongst several cards to just bring your, you know, your usage down on each account. And then that way that actually, I mean, it's kind of it's almost a trick, right? It's a hack for trying to spread your debt if you can't pay it all off, but spread it amongst a couple of cards and it doesn't look like you're using as much on every account. Okay?
But don't go high on all those credit cards too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess, you know, we're kind of short on time today, but a quick question. How do I check my credit score? Where do you tell your people to check your credit scores? I know for me, Wells Fargo, it automatically generates a new credit score every month for me. So I love that. Really quick, Lee, thanks for asking the question. I love you. Is it better to pay off credit balance every month? Would this increase my credit score?
And I can give,
love you, Lee.
Thanks for submitting your question.
Okay.
And I would tell you, no, actually, unbelievably, you don't want to pay off your credit. You know, if you're trying to improve your score, right?
Okay.
Obviously, if you're just trying to keep debt low, it's totally okay to pay it off. If you have the money to, that's great. But you would, even if you know, a lot of people will want to pay off because they don't want to pay interest. But I would say even leaving a balance of like $20 on your card is going to help, right?
Okay.
So let's say you have a $200 credit card and you charge $50 on it, you get the bill, you don't want to pay interest, you pay off the entire bill. Well, the credit bureau reads that, gee, at the beginning of the month your balance was 0, and at the end of the month your balance was also 0.
Mm-hmm.
And so even though you're utilizing your own credit, they're not seeing any record of it. So you want to at least, you know, again, paying on time, paying down your credit card balances or spreading them out so that you're at 20 to 30%. If you can't get to that low, you know, go from 50, try it up to 40, you know, and I promise you your credit scores will improve. The reason why we want to talk about that today is because it's such a big role when it comes to maybe getting ready to buy a house or even renting, right? Mm-hmm. A credit score is going to be, you know, the yes or no to whether or not you can get your new place. Okay. So I'd like to shout out a great company that I've worked with. I've had a few clients as well who are like, hey, Nancy, I want to buy, but I'm just nowhere near where I need to be, you know, in order to get there. So I work with Riverstone Law. They're actually based out of Colorado.
Riverstone Law.
Yep, Riverstone Law.
L-E-W. Okay.
Yep. So they're a law firm. They specialize in helping people, first of all, make sure that all the data on your credit report is accurate.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Because Hmong people, we share the same name a lot too. Oh, and then, okay, Riverstone Law. And then really quick, we're going to get to you saying, Lee, we see you. Is there a required amount for a down payment? We're going to get to your question and then continue. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So what typically happens is that they'll review your credit report for any errors and mistakes. And then more importantly, let's lead to our next question, right? So we know how to use our credit appropriately. Now, in order to be able to purchase, there's a couple things. Like especially for first-time home buyers, you can have up to 2 collections, but no more than $1,000. So if you owe more than that, you're going to be required to pay those off, maybe even at closing. Or, and I would recommend honestly that if you already owe it, the collection's already dragging your score down, I would contact the creditor and try to negotiate that balance, right? So if you owe $500 to T-Mobile, you know, everybody. I feel like everybody has those like old cell phone bills or whatever it is.
Yes.
Call them and say, hey, you know what? I know I owe $500, but I have, you know, start with a number, like start with 50%. Say I have like $250 right now, and you know, I might be able to pay off my collection, but I want you to, you know, market is settled and paid, and maybe even deleted off my credit score.
Okay.
These are all things you can do yourself. Now leading to your question about down payment. So
minimum a required amount for down payment. Can I just put down $10 or 5% down or whatever?
Yes, yep, absolutely. So essentially there's 4 different types of loan programs, and the only people who can buy a home with 0 down are going to be veterans. So if you've duty or service to our country, they can purchase homes with 0 down. And also you can put 0 down if you're buying in a rural area. So right now we're in Maplewood, St. Paul, Ramsey County. If you buy, yep, because we're in an urban area, and so the USDA or rural loan financing. I actually have a client closing at the end of this month using that program.
Oh my gosh.
And we bought up in Isanti. But essentially, if you're as far away as like Chisago County, or if you go to Hudson or anything in Wisconsin, essentially from the Twin Cities, you could purchase with the USDA loan. And
that's a 0 down payment.
0 down payment, that's right. And then, but if you're buying in the city, okay, so essentially if you're buying in the city, you don't want to live like 30 minutes away from work and you're commuting. There are some down payment assistance programs available for those who income and credit qualify. So that leads back to the credit question, right?
Oh, yes.
You can have a great job, but if your credit scores are, under 640, 660 right now, it's tough to be able to get some of those down payment programs. They're out there, but feel free to message me. I can, tell you guys more about it.
So Sane's question, if you just got to put something down, what's the good enough amount to for the lender to like you?
Yep. So minimum typically for first-time home buyers, it'd be about 3.5%.
Okay.
And then conventional buyers can put as low as as low as 3% essentially.
All right, Sane. I hope that helps. 3%, 3.5%. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Nancy, that was great.
Yeah.
Shout out.
So one last shout out, you guys. I am always a huge supporter of small business.
Yes,
and there's
love small business.
And of course with the Instagrams of the world and the social influencers out there, I've been following this gal for a couple of years. And I buy some of her product. In fact, today I'm wearing the Lumina lashes.
Go up with your clothes.
I'm like, hi. Anyway, but it's, I'd like to shout out Brenda Herr. She runs a website. She's actually based in California.
Awesome.
But I know she's got a lot of beauty influencers here in Minnesota. And her website is beautylens.us. So she sells, like colored contacts and beautiful, amazing 3D, 4D lashes, and I wear them all the time. So I just want to shout her out because I love small business, and especially, supporting women in business. Love it. So thanks so much, guys.
And if you just joined us, we're talking about lashes, even though this is real estate. This is a shout out to other small businesses, and however long I've known Nancy, one thing is true, she always looks great, okay? She takes the time every single morning. I've never seen her to this day without makeup.
Sorry, I won't leave the house without lashes.
And I love that about her because she wants to look at her best for herself, for her clients, for her family, but for herself, and that's very wonderful. I think this is my first time telling you about this.
Oh, that's cute.
So Brenda, awesome. And we're also in her listing, Nancy's listing, brand new listing that just came up in
just listed today.
Maplewood, and you'll see, if you continue watching her Facebook page, you'll see a virtual tour of this house.
Awesome. Let's get to it, guys.
I just want to say I love you. We see Katie saying thanks to you, Mao. And
thanks for tuning in, guys.
For watching.
Really appreciate it. Have a great day.
Bye.